Hi guys and girls, and welcome back to our Double Deutsch InTense crash course, where over the next 5 weeks we are going to be teaching you one whole concept in the most entertaining way that we know how. So
if you haven't seen last week's video yet, give it a click up here. But for those of you joining us today, we started off looking at the present tense.
And this week we're checking out the German future tense.
Also, letzte Woche haben wir gelernt:
I am reading. Ich bin am Lesen.
Und diese Struktur ist sehr einfach zu benutzen.
Warum?
Weil man sich einfach nur 2 Sachen merken muss. Also die Konjugation von sein.
Ich bin, du bist, es ist, wir sind, ihr seid, sie sind.
Und dann muss man das Infinitive einfach am Ende einfügen. Zum Beispiel trinken, singen, essen, was auch immer.
Und?
Die gute Nachricht ist, dass das, was wir gerade gelernt haben, auch für die Konjunktivform und für die Futurform gilt. Aber anstatt das Verb sein zu brauchen, nehmen wir jetzt das Verb werden.
Ich werde, du wirst, es wird, wir werden, ihr werdet, sie werden.
Da wir jetzt die Konjugation von werden kennen, alles, was wir jetzt machen müssen, ist das Verb am Ende des Satzes stellen.
Examples. So as an example, we're going to use the sentence Ich lerne Deutsch. Now you should already know that Ich lerne is the present form of I am learning German. So if we want to change this into I will learn German, we would simply change Ich lerne into Ich werde, I will, followed by Deutsch lernen. I will German learn. I will learn German. Or if we take the example that we saw last week from I am reading, ich bin am lesen, and we want to change that into the future tense, we quite simply change ich bin into ich werde. Then we take out the am, which leaves us with ich werde lesen. I will read. And here are a few more real-life examples that we came up with. Ich werde es morgen machen. I will do it tomorrow. Wird es nächste Woche abholen. He will pick it up next week. Ich werde nie eine Frau finden, die so schön ist wie du.
Und sehr wichtig, wir haben noch 2 kleine Tipps für dich. Als erstes haben wir im Englischen eine ganz andere Version von dem Futur, die im Deutschen komplett verboten ist.
Examples. So in English it's very normal to say I'm going to call you, I'm going to help you, I'm going to see you. However, if you translate these literally into German, ich gehe dich morgen sehen, ich gehe dich anrufen, ich gehe dir helfen, this, perhaps unsurprisingly, could be taken literally by a German, that you are going to literally go and see him, or you are going somewhere to go and ring him. Or if you push this example to the extreme, ich bin gehen.
Ah, hallo Gen, ich bin Lina.
Ich bin bleiben.
Und der zweite Tipp ist, genauso wie bei vielen anderen deutschen Formen, muss man das Verb immer am Ende des Satzes haben. Auf Englisch sagen wir zum Beispiel I will clean the bathroom, wobei auf Deutsch heißt es
Ich werde das Badezimmer putzen. I will the bathroom clean. Ich werde dir ein Glas Wasser geben, ja? I will to you a glass of water give. Ich werde dich mit diesen Verbformen verwirren. I will you with these verb forms confuse. I confuse myself.
That's fine. Also, wenn du noch weiter üben möchtest, dann klick hier unten auf den Link, wo du mehr Übung finden wirst, und sei nächstes Mal dabei, wo wir über das Konjunktiv sprechen werden.
And the third tip is that YouTube doesn't really like it when we make short videos. So we've basically taught you everything that you need to know already, but we're just going to add some exercises on to the end. So if you want to support the channel, then carry on watching and do the exercises with us, and you can find all of the answers in the beginning of next week's video.
Exactly. So, bis nächste Woche.
It's example time with Ed. So, for the examples, what we're going to do is have 3 different sentences up on the screen, which you should see now. And what we're going to do is take all 3 of those sentences and turn them into their future selves. So, we're going to start with the first question, which is Wann fliegst du nach London? So this sentence could actually be used, it's absolutely fine. When are you flying to London? It could be used in English as well. But what we want to do for the sake of this exercise is turn it into its future self. So as we know from the exercises, what we need to do here is take the present verb, fliegst du, and change that into its future form. So if you can remember from the exercises, the du form of werden is du wirst. So that would be wann wirst du? And as we've said millions of times already in this video, the verb needs to go at the end. So in this case it would be wann wirst du nach London fliegen? Cool? Anybody that got that right in their heads, give yourself a pat on the back. And here's number 2. Meine Eltern wandern morgen. Ich gehe nicht mit. So in English this would be, my parents are going hiking tomorrow. I not go with, which in English actually sounds fairly strange and it sounds a bit weird in German as well. So actually if we think about it in English, changing this into the future would make more sense as well. So my parents are going hiking tomorrow. I am not going to go with them. Is probably how we'd say it in vernacular, in oral English. So if we want to do that in German, meine Eltern werden morgen wandern. Ich werde nicht mitgehen. So as you can see, it's fairly simple. It's just the conjugation of werden. Ich werde, du wirst, wird, wir werden, ihr werdet, sie werden, and then putting the verb at the end. Pretty simple. So let's just do this final one together as well. Morgen stehe ich früh auf, which is tomorrow I wake up early, which in English sounds a bit weird, but could potentially be said in German. Morgen stehe ich früh auf. However, to put it in the future and for the sake of the exercise, morgen stehe ich becomes morgen werde ich früh aufstehen. And then once again, because it's aufstehen is one verb together, a separable verb, we're going to have that at the end of the sentence and written together. Morgen werde ich früh aufstehen. So guys and girls, let us know what you thought of these exercises at the end of the video. Were they helpful? Would really like to know in the comment section so that we can add them on to the end of the other videos. And if they're totally useless, then let us know as well, because we'll probably stop doing them. Either way, don't forget to tune into next week's video, which is going to be about the conditional, if I'm not mistaken. And see you very soon.